Welcome, everyone. Good day. Welcome to this portion, another experience during this summer solstice time. I decided to extend a few different offerings starting just after the official summer solstice to celebrate the summer solstice, to initiate the entrance of summer, and to continue supporting the collective. And I just realized that I have not been introducing myself to those. For any of those who do not know me, my name is ONYI, or that's one of the names that I go by, and I'm a healing artist, a priestess, a teacher. I support the collective through a variety of creative arts expressions, a variety of healing modalities, and really the reflection that I came here to bring for myself and for whomever it is needed is to remember who you are, to remember your joy, to ground in your peace, to be grounded in whatever ways you need to be grounded. And that is actually grounding is a specific focus for today, for me to offer some words, some energy work, some tools to help you ground yourself. For those of you who feel like you have a pretty good handle on grounding yourself, then ashe, and that is beautiful and wonderful. And for those of you that feel as if you don't, it is very much possible to be grounded. Consider the idea that we come from Earth. We are on Earth. We are never not connected to the Earth, even if we are flying through whatever means we're able to fly. We're still within the Earth, and the Earth is the ultimate grounding. So grounding is absolutely a part of what you have access to within you. It's just a matter of how you connect to that energy, how you allow that energy to break through, how you allow yourself to be centered and in your neutrality and in your connection to that energy of grounding. And there's so many different ways to do that. So to continue, let's go ahead and take a moment to be in prayer, because I prefer to open things up, to close things out, to move through life as prayer, as this conversation with God, with Olodumare, with the all that is, with Source, with ourselves, myself, our higher self, with the ancestors, with all the different beings, the different deities and so forth, that constant conversation that we are always having, whether it is speaking or thinking or intuiting or intending. That is a conversation. Your life is a conversation. And so I really am grateful for the opportunity to extend that conversation through words, through verbalizing. So first and foremost, giving honor, reverence, love, acknowledgement to our higher selves for being here, for choosing this existence at this time, in these places, with all of these individuals, moving through all the circumstances, situations to support us in being more of who we are, in learning whatever lessons there are to learn. Gratitude for the choice to be here. Gratitude for the choice to gather in this moment, to ground together. In gratitude to our ancestors. The ancestors are in the earth, literally, metaphorically. supporting and our grounding through the lives they lived, the choices they made, the sacrifices they made, everything they did, how they navigated on the earth, how they grounded, what they contributed to the earth to support in our grounding, to support in their own grounding. Gratitude to them. And as we ground ourselves, we support and uplift them in their grounding, and we pave the way for our future generations to come in, remembering their connection to the earth, that immediate access to the ability to ground. Gratitude to the directions. May we move in the directions that support our grounding. And as we shift through, as we move through any directions, may we be in the awareness to know when we are not grounded and to do whatever we need to do to make whatever shifts we need to make in order to return to that place of grounding. Gratitude and honor to the elements and elementals. The elements, again, we're focusing on the energy of grounding, so the element of earth, that ultimate symbol for many of us of grounding, but also the different elements that may not be considered symbols of grounding, yet they express themselves on the earth. So they contribute to, they support, they engage with the grounding that we need. And they serve as reflections to show in what ways we are not grounded, or the ways in which we utilize those specific elements within us and outside of us to take us away from our grounding, when in fact, we can utilize them to support our grounding. So gratitude to all those elements, all the different elementals, elemental beings in your different shapes, iterations, expressions, across dimensions, outside of us, moving through, within, as us, that we are connected to at all times. Thank you. May we, in this moment, be supported by those elementals that offer us the reflections of grounding. Gratitude to this earth. Gratitude to the beings in the plant, mineral, and animal kingdoms, all of the different reflections of grounding, the multiplicity of expressions of what it means to be connected to the earth, to come from the earth, to return to the earth through the plants, the vegetation, the foliage, through the various creatures, whether they walk directly, mostly on land, whether they touch land every now and then, but spend most of their times in the air or the water, whether they traverse all of those specific environments, they still are reflections of grounding in so many different ways for us. So may we look at them to remember who we are, to remember our own grounding. Gratitude to this earth. Thank you, earth. Thank you, Aye. Thank you, Pachamama. Thank you, Tierra, Terra, and all the different names by which you are known. May we always remember that we are returning to you at every moment. As we breathe, as the cells are discarded from our being, our bodies, as each hair follicle detaches from any part of us, as we breathe, as we shed water, we're always returning back to you, always grounding. So may we remember that grounding. In any moments that we imagine we are not grounded, may we remember that we're actually always connected to the earth, to the ground, always returning to the ground, always coming from the earth, coming from the ground. So grounding is within our actual nature as a collective species. So thank you. So a lot of times people ask, what does it mean to be grounded? And I think for me, ultimately, it is that energy of being connected to the solidness of something, the natural, contained, complete, integrated solidness of something, of ourselves, in our natures, of the earth. The earth is solid. It is a well-contained organism, highly functioning organism, a breathing organism. Literally, being grounded is being connected to this earth and being connected to the earth within us. The earth containing all the different elements and components and resources, materials, raw materials, materials that have been created from those raw materials, to the produced materials, and everything in between. Again, that entirety of something, being in recognition of the entirety of something and the entirety of that thing, all the individual components of that thing work together to make that thing what it is. And being grounded is to have that awareness and to be solid in that understanding and that energy and that awareness. So when we think about not being grounded, not being connected to the solid core, to the multiplicity of ourselves, knowing that the multiplicity comes together to create the whole, and we are drawing from any aspect of the multiplicity in order to do whatever needs to be done in any given moment, to experience, to express whatever energies are needed, to process whatever materials, of raw materials and things that we need to process in order to produce that expression of ourselves, that expression of whatever energies are flowing through us. To not be grounded is to disconnect from that, or to operate from the idea that there's a disconnection from that. Again, if we use the very visible, very tangible, very visceral expression of our bodies connecting to the earth, the idea that we are detached from the earth, we are not connected to the earth, we don't come from the earth, there's nothing for us on the earth, within the earth, through the earth, as the earth. To me, that is the ultimate idea of not being grounded. And that specific idea, to me, that root of that idea, to be disconnected, then has this reverberation. It extends outwards and through into so many different areas, emotionally, mentally, energetically, spiritually. So ask yourself these questions. Do I know what it feels like to be in that space of not grounded? What are my indications? How do I feel physically when I'm not grounded? How does that express itself in the different parts of my body? My skin, my hair, and literally the different parts of my body, how I feel, any type of dis-ease, discomfort, discombobulation. Do I recognize the signals that my body gives me when I'm not grounded? Do I recognize the signals that the outside world, again, this idea of separation between outside and inside, that is an experience that we create in order to move through the different things that we need to move through, navigate this life. But really, the outside is the inside is the outside. So your outside, your outer environment is always giving you feedback. You're giving yourself feedback on a constant basis. Your ori, your head, your destiny, your character, ori, nu, ori, ode, as we say in Ifa, is always giving you feedback. It's a matter of, are you paying attention to the feedback, the outer world, how people respond to you, how the elements respond to you, how you engage with the elements, how you see the world? That is a reflection. That is feedback. So what feedback are you receiving to point to the fact that you are not grounded in any given moment? Start to pay attention to that. Even literally talk to yourself, ask yourself, talk to your body, this ultimate receptor and transmitter. Our bodies are so amazing, y'all. It's so, I'm such an advocate in many ways, and grow in many ways as an advocate for the body. For some reason, we as human beings, we just have this desire to just not really be in our bodies. Whatever this angst is as a collective humanity, obviously each individual person or specific collectives, depending on your culture, depending on your practices, they have a different understanding of the body and relationship with the body, to where they honor and revere it and understand the function of the body on all the different levels, and understand that this body is a gift, understand that this form, this human form, all the bodies that are here on earth, they're gifts. So there's that, but it seems like kind of overarching, or in our collective consciousness, that is expressed very heavily in our media, in our advertisement, in all sorts of ways. There is this disdain for the body, to where we are constantly doing those things that are quite painful. Some people from a place of fear, anxiety, seeking validation from external sources to alter the body in traumatic ways. From this place, not of, I really love and enjoy my body and I want to do this thing, and I know it's going to be a little bit it's uncomfortable, but I'm going to do it because that is my highest excitement and joy. Not a lot of people are coming from that place. A lot of people are coming from this place of, I hate this body. I hate this body. I wish I had a different body. I wish I had a body that people perceived as XYZ. So this body, this ultimate vessel of grounding, of our connection to the ground, to the earth, to our ancestors, our symbols of grounding, we constantly hex, curse, dismiss, negate ourselves. So that can even be one indication of not being grounded, a dismissiveness towards your body, which then leads to so many other things. If you feel like you're all over the place, you're scattered mentally, scattered emotionally, feeling like you're at the mercy of your emotions, at the mercy of your thoughts, that could be another indication of not being in your grounding. Literally, sometimes you can just hold that part of your body that contains the controlling centers for the thoughts or the emotions and so forth. It's all, I mean, your body is, again, encompassing and managing and dealing with it all. But if we consider, okay, let's say the head is, the ultimate symbol for where the thoughts convene. If you feel scattered, you can just hold your head. Take a breath in, breathe out, and literally think or say the words, just ground. And see how you feel. If your emotions, you can keep holding your head if you like, but oftentimes, again, the heart space is where the emotions are considered to be focalized. So you can hold your heart and say ground. You can hold your head and your heart. Go from one to the other. Mind, heart, mind, heart, mind, heart, all here. Ground. If you're experiencing any type of anxiety and that is expressing itself in other parts of your body, you can literally touch that part of your body. Ground. 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 Remember your connection to the earth, connection to wholeness, connection to completeness, connection to the all that is ground. Giving you simple tools to ground yourself. Simple tools to ground yourself. If we use the earth as the ultimate symbol of grounding, you can touch your head to the earth. Ask the earth to support you and hold you and to remind you to ground. Your feet are touching the earth. You can focus on that connection, that feeling. What does it feel like to have your feet connected to the earth? Take off your shoes, take off your socks, go put your feet in the soil, in the sand, on some grass, on some leaves. Ground. You can say it. You don't even need to say it. Literally, the act of your feet touching the earth is ground. If you don't have access to sand or soil, you live in near or in around the concrete jungles and literally you have no grass. Your feet touching the concrete, ground. Because where does the concrete come from? The earth. I was saying this to someone before and he kind of laughed at me, but I was like, no, I'm serious. Like, even if we live in what we call these concrete jungles where there's literally like no trees and no nothing. One, if you have the access and ability to go somewhere where you have those reflections of the things that just come from the earth organically as themselves without much alteration outside of just what the earth does to actually cultivate these things, that is beautiful and wonderful. That is so healing and such a beautiful reflection for us. And if for whatever reason you don't have access to that, if you watched my live before on, what was it that I did? The collective prayer. One of the lives that I did, which I'll watch all of them in this series in particular. If you don't have access to something in the way that you prefer, consider what you have access to within your environment to allow you to still maintain that connection. So don't get stuck in this idea that like, oh, I don't have access to grass or anything, so therefore I can never use that to be grounded. Concrete comes from the earth. We didn't grab it from outer space and then utilize it. And then it's like, it's foreign and it's alien. No, concrete comes from, we created it from things that we got from the earth. It's still part of earth. So you can literally put your feet on the concrete and still ground. Still use that as your reflection if that is literally the only thing you have access to. If you have access to something different like soil, like grass and whatnot, then go to that if that is a stronger symbol for you. But if you don't have that access, don't keep yourself stuck imagining that you can't stay grounded. Use that concrete. You can take a piece of paper, take some brown or tan or green colors, draw soil, draw sand, draw leaves, draw trees, stand on top of that. I know it sounds, whatever it sounds like to any of you, but I kid you not. Try it and see if it works in those moments where you are not feeling grounded and you do not have access to trees or soil or grass. Literally draw a picture of those things, stand on it, place it on your head, place it on your heart, place it on some part of your body. Why? Because it is your own consciousness that is creating your reality, that is taking the information that you are receiving, perceiving, and doing what it needs to do with it. And we are powerful. We heal ourselves. We shift ourselves. If we remembered how powerful we were, literally anytime we are experiencing anything that we don't prefer and we say, oh, you know what? I don't prefer that and I'm no longer interested in that. And if you are truly connected in that moment to, and it's relevant for you to then shift to somewhere else, you literally can shift immediately. But in our ungrounded state as human beings, called we are not connected to source, to the all that is, we forget and we create the experiences that we create from the forgetting, which is still the journey. But there are definitely dimensions of this earth, dimensions of our versions of ourselves where we're like constantly shifting ourselves. As soon as we are done with an experience, move on to the next thing, move on to the next thing. So ground in that idea to know that you can utilize whatever you need to utilize in order to ground yourself in the moment, whether it's just literally touch, ground, whoo, I'm good. Touch, ground, whoo, I'm good. Walk on sand, walk on soil, whoo, I'm good. We can utilize any of those tools. There's a practice called earthing, which literally is you walking barefoot for, I believe, at least 15 minutes, they say, because we don't earth. Many of us don't earth unless you live in societies and with peoples and in cultures and on places of the earth where they do earth, where they do walk more barefoot, where they utilize shoes that are actually made of materials that still allow for the earthing to happen, literally creating that magnetic field or tapping into that magnetic field in a certain way that then rises throughout the entirety of your body to support the electromagnetism of your entire body. That is a beautiful way to ground. Maybe every day, every other day, you take a 15-minute walk barefoot, or you stand in a place for 15 minutes barefoot. If you have a house that you're living in or that you have access to that has wood floors, walk barefoot, and really sitting in the consciousness or the awareness and the intention of ground. Ground, ground, ground. Eating grounding foods. Whether that's literally foods. I mean, all foods come from the earth and the ground at some point. Even, I mean, again, it's a little interesting. Even the stuff that we create that's super like artificial and things, it still comes from the earth. But again, if you know your body does not process those things well, that's part of the ungrounding. But I say all of that to say that there's nothing that does not come from the earth. And there are specific things that spend more time in the earth. Again, if we use the earth as this ultimate sign of grounding, there are certain things that spend more time literally in the soil than other things, which may spend more time, outside of the soil, but they're getting their nutrients through, the stems and the branches and the trees. The trees are the ones getting their direct nutrients from the soil, and then they're transmitting all that information to the fruit or whatever it is. So again, the grounding foods, things like carrots, things like beets, things like, I believe, rhubarb, potatoes, yams, those things that spend a good portion of their time, most of their time, until we actually extract them take them from outside of the soil and then consume them. If you don't have a nutritional challenge with those things, eat those things. Eat more of them. If you find that you're someone that constantly goes in and out of your groundedness in ways you don't prefer, perhaps you're just not eating grounded foods. Incorporate those more so in your diet. And reduce the things that are highly processed. So they've been taken, again, so this is going back to what I was saying before. Yes, everything comes from the earth, but we have created processes for processing foods that take them further and further and further and further away from their natures in ways that are harmful to us. Because again, remember, the earth is a complete system, complete organism. What it produces and creates has its own level of completeness. So having that completeness means all the different elements and aspects of that thing cultivated from the earth and generated as themselves are complete. They all work together harmoniously in balance in all the different levels to allow that thing to be that thing. And over time, over the millennia, as human beings have engaged with those things, consumed those things, and yes, change those things as we change and all the different things, but there are these complete systems. So then what happens when we as human beings take those things and produce them, extract the certain elements or aspects from those things, and then expand upon those things that we extracted. So you change something, shift the location. Location's a property. When you extract something, you're removing it from its location. You're removing it from the different aspects of itself that allowed it to be harmonious and balanced. And now it creates something different and new that maybe has its own balance, but then how we interact with that thing may or may not be the most harmonious, given the generations of lineages we come from that interacted with the wholeness of those things before. So it could be that the foods you're eating highly processed foods that in and of themselves may be less and less and less grounded, then the effect that they have in your body can look like not grounded. So pay attention, be mindful of that. Are you drinking enough water? So again, this is going back to what I was referring to about the different elements, even if they may not be considered symbols of groundedness, they still support grounding in some way. Are you drinking enough water? Because if you're eating certain things, you don't have enough water in your system, that solidification of those things in your system can be a challenge. The different processes that need to happen in your system that require hydration, that can be something that's leaving you feeling ungrounded, not drinking enough water. The way water moves the earth. Water moves earth. Water shifts earth. Water erodes earth. Water is powerful. So it could be a lack of water that is creating this sense or state of not being grounded for you. It was an interesting message that came through earlier. Drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of water for you, whatever that looks like for you. Know what that is. If you don't know, experiment. There's so many different tools. If you read the information that I provided in announcing this live, I indicated to bring or be near something that is a symbol for you of grounding. If you have that, great. If you don't, you can take a moment to go get it. I'll still continue. Or you can just even remember that the earth is the ultimate, or one of the ultimate symbols of grounding, and the fact that your feet are touching the earth, that is your object that you are near. Utilize things around you. Again, I gave you different tools and exercises for how you can remember and be in grounding with the food. And then use the things, many of us are very tactile, very visual people. If you have access to your vision in that way, sometimes the things we see strike of our consciousness and remind us to do things. Maybe you're more tactile if you don't have access to your vision in that way. Or if you do, but still touching something in some reason just helps you be grounded. Take the object that you brought and hold it. Hold these objects and ground. So I'm going to drink some water right now to help me. Something you can actually do too, as you see me doing, is just guiding that water. I mean, the water knows what it needs to do and our bodies know what they need to do with it. But something about you engaging with the process in a certain way can bring a sense of grounding. in Ifa, the spiritual practice that is my foundation and my rock. We speak to the water. We speak to everything. Speak to the water, pray into the water, give thanks to the water, and ask the water, I ask that you move through my body and help me in whatever ways I need to remember what I need to do in order to ground myself. Remove any blockages that I am creating, that I'm attaching to, that keep me ungrounded. It's another exercise you can do. If you practice whatever traditions you practice, have whatever ancestral lineages that you have, their indigenous practices, I'm pretty sure that they have some sort of technique, technology, ritual, ceremony, simple tools, more complex tools for grounding. So tap into that. Start learning about your ancestral practices. Speak to your ancestors. Develop a relationship with them in ways that you haven't before. That is powerful technology for grounding, powerful practice. Ancestors. There's so many different ways for grounding. Why? Because we live on this beautiful earth. There is no shortage of access to opportunities for getting grounded. The ultimate one being just to remember who we are. Ground. Everyone take a collective deep breath in. And exhale. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. So for the last few minutes, I'm going to surrender to the messages that I receive as far as any energetic technique, any healing tool that in this moment will support in this collective grounding right now. And as I do so, if you have your item with you, take it and either hold it to your heart, hold it to your head. You can go back and forth from your head to your heart to head. Place it on any other part of your body that for you in this moment is vibrating, is activated right now as we are having this conversation about grounding. Whatever it is, if it is your right pinky toe and it's just on fire right now, or it's just throbbing or whatever, if it's your left knee, if it's your right elbow, it doesn't matter. In this moment, just go with it. Go with it. It's going to open up, unlock something for you when it comes to grounding. So you can place your item there, or if you don't have the item, if you're sitting next to the item, if it's a big plant, a tree or something, just touch that part of your body or focus on it in a way that will lean into the activation, whatever is happening for you. Just lean into that at this moment right now. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Asking the energy of wind right now. In this day, Ifa is a day that we honor Shango and Oya. Oya that manifests in the wind, the winds. symbol of transformation, metamorphosis, complete shifting from one thing into the next. Utilizing the energy of the wind right now to dislodge, to break through any resistance, any stagnation that gets in the way of our actual proper grounding. So as you are touching that part of your body that is being activated right now, as we are in this energy called ground, breathe. With every breath, ground. With every complete cycle of a breath, ground. With every inhale, ground. With every exhale, ground. 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 Ground, 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 ground. 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 Follow my motions, either in the same area or the same motion on a different part of your body. And repeat the words ground. Not quick, slowly and spaced out. Ground. 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 Move throughout your body with this motion with your fists. Not too tight and not too hard on your body. This is not forcing yourself. This is activating ourselves with the solidness of our fists, reminding ourselves to be grounded. Ground. Move through your body, your legs, your feet, your core, your back, your sacral areas in front and back. Ground. If the object that you have to ground you is small enough to hold in your hands, hold it in your left hand while you continue this activity of using the fists. Just go through and gently pound, thud, tap your body, round, round, round. If the object is too big, but you're standing next to it or sitting next to it, you can place that left hand on it, any part of it, and do this activity. And again, if you don't have an object, you have the earth, you have the ground beneath you. So your feet are touching the ground, so use both hands then to continue this activity. And at some point, gently bring your hands to your eyes, and with even softer force, do this on your eyes. May our vision be grounded. May our vision be grounded. May our vision be grounded. The vision we have for our lives and how that vision is then manifested. How we navigate this world, these worlds, with that vision in mind. May that vision be grounded. Grounded in the recognition that we are connected, we are here. We are an expression of the all that is of Source. May we ground in that recognition, and may that recognition fuel our vision. And may the actions that we take to support our vision be grounded. Be grounded. Be grounded. Be grounded. So finish up your motion and come back to a place where your hands are on your heart. May we be grounded in love. Love, the force that fuels, that propels the universe, the multiverse. To love, to see, to allow. May we be grounded in love for ourselves, for our lives, for our existence, for others, for their lives, for their existence, for all of existence. Thanking our higher selves for coming and incarnating and grounding into this existence as who we are. Thanking our ancestors for having grounded in who and what they were in whatever ways they could. And our grounding supports and healing any aspects of them that were not grounded. And we heal, create a path of wholeness and groundedness for our future generations. Thank you to the directions and the grounding that is found in any direction that we move into. Thank you to the elements and elementals for your grounding energy, or for how you engage with our grounding to help us to be more grounded, or to recognize the ways in which we are moving away from our grounding. Thank you to the beings in the plant, mineral, and animal kingdoms for how you ground, how you engage with the earth, how you reflect groundedness to us. Thank you, Earth, for being this source of grounding for us. From you we come, to you we are always returning. Thank you to everything outside of Earth, the multiverse, the cosmos, the universe, all of the verses. May we ground in the recognition that we are a part of all of it. Every single one of us. We complete the puzzle piece of existence, the totality and the groundedness of existence. Thank you. Ashe. So this energy will continue moving through you throughout this day, throughout however much time, across however many days is necessary. So really sit in the awareness of, pay attention to this energy of grounding. Again, utilize any of the tools that I mentioned in the beginning of the video to remind yourself of how to ground. So many different options, and even just ask yourself, how can I return to my grounding, and see what comes up. If it seems like the most random thing, Spirit tells you, wear a purple shirt with yellow polka dots. Do it. See what happens, because that's going to open the door to something that you would have never even considered was a powerful tool for you. So thank you so much again. And join me on Friday for the last experience in this Summer Solstice 2023 series of offerings for the collective. I'll be doing a collective clearing and sweetening. That'll be at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, visit my website, www.onyi.love, that's onyi.love, to see all the other services and experiences that I offer. You can follow me on Instagram as well, at onyi.love, that's onyi.love. Sending you all so much love, so much peace. May you remember your groundedness, remember your grounding. You're supported. You have so much around you that's supporting you to be grounded. So may you remember that. Ashe.